Hey there, happy day 765. Wow, 765 days in a row. I've hopped on here and talked about what I'm doing as I transition from the brick and mortar corporate world of business to the online world of business. And how you could do the same but not have it take 765 days because you won't make the same mistakes that I've made. Thinking about being all thumbs. Remember Thumb Wars? I was trying to remember how to do that. I think it's like this, and then you go, 1, 2, 3, 4, I declare a thumb war, and then you try to fight with each other and get each other's thumbs and have a big battle. Actually, I have to teach my granddaughter that now that I remembered it today, thinking about all thumbs, because it was fun. It's really fun to play Thumb Wars. And of course, if you're bigger and you got a bigger thumb, you have the advantage, because those little bitty thumbs, those are easy to catch and pin down. Kind of like arm wrestling and which I was never very good at. And then what was the other one? Remember that Indian leg wrestling? When you'd lay down side by side and then you'd lift your leg up and then tip each other over? That was a really fun one too. I'm sure it's got a more politically correct name now, but it was really fun when we were little kids. So I'm thinking about thumbs today because of course the idiom that I was talking about in Supersize Your Business was all thumbs. And the importance of doing something, taking action, even though we feel clumsy and awkward in the beginning, right? I never realized how long that expression's been around. It's a proverb from the 1500s, and I am learning as I'm doing these idioms every day that there's expressions and there's things in our culture and around us all the time that we don't know are impacting us, and maybe they're not directly impacting us, but something that's been around since the 1500s is probably got an impact at least on somebody that you interact with on a regular basis or somebody that you have interacted with. This one, it hits home because I was clumsy, and okay, I still am clumsy. I am a klutz. I have to be careful when I'm walking on a flat paved road. That's my level of klutziness. Now, I can already hear the guru saying, it's because you believe you're a klutz and you're going to fall down and get hurt. Well, that's because I have a huge history of examples of me doing clumsy things, being a bull in a china shop, and people telling me and reminding me that on a regular basis, including myself reminding me of that on a regular basis. But being all thumbs doesn't have to be an excuse for staying stuck, right? Because we're all thumbs when we start something new. Whenever we do something new, it feels awkward, it feels uncomfortable, it feels clumsy. And some of us, everything we do is without grace and style, right? And that's just who we are, and that's okay too. So we can't use feeling uncomfortable, not wanting to get out of our comfort zone as an excuse for never doing anything, because we're going to be clumsy. We're going to fight and have thumb wars. And then as we get better at something, as we practice makes perfect, right? And it increases our comfort level, and we become more comfortable doing anything that we can possibly imagine that we initially felt clumsy at. Have you ever seen a kid that didn't learn how to walk in a clumsy manner? Have you ever seen somebody learn how to do anything and they weren't clumsy to begin with? If I go back and think about anything that I did for the first time and was new at, I felt like I was all thumbs. I was all thumbs, right? We are clumsy and klutzy when we first start something new. But when we do it, it increases our confidence. If we do it again, it increases our confidence even more. If we do it a third time and a fourth time until we actually feel awesome about it, it becomes second nature to us. It becomes a habit. I used to be, and I'm telling you, I mean freaking scared to death. It took me like maybe 6 months or longer. It probably took me years actually before I would do a Facebook Live. And I still remember my first Facebook Live. I'm looking at a little beaver puppet that I did my first Facebook Live with. That's how afraid I was to be on camera and to be on actually it wasn't even a Facebook Live, it was just to be on my camera. I took my very first video with my camera and a beaver puppet. It was something for Jim Edwards. I don't even remember what it was now, but I was so scared I had to have a silly beaver puppet on the video with me, right? That's pretty scary. And I very seldom go back and watch my videos. Like this piece, I say I'm doing it to journal, but just talking about the things that I'm doing helps me to remember them and helps me to remember the important pieces. I will probably have somebody go through and pull out and find and do certain things with these videos someday, but for right now, I am just doing them, instead of having to write in a journal, I'm doing them to keep track of what I'm doing and what's working and what's not. Now, right now, I'm working on a big challenge, right? I'm doing the Live Challenge Workshop, which is not an awesome name, by the way. I'm going to launch it on March 23rd with that name, but I suspect that that name is definitely going to change probably next time around, and for sure this year it will change. We'll see. It just isn't a very sexy or appealing name, at least not to me. Live Challenge Workshop. Number one, who wants to do a workshop? Work implies hard, and guess what? It is totally not hard. Live, I like live because I love doing live. You guys, the secret, the real truth and the secret is live is awesome because number one, you have an automatic built-in reason for why stuff can go wrong, right? And why weird things can happen and why you don't have to be perfect to get started, because anything can happen. The dogs can bark, the kids can cry, the phone can ring. How many times have I been doing a live video when I get a notification or a phone call? I got one this morning in my the very end of my Supersize Your Business video. My son and his family are traveling. They've just gotten to the airport, so he called me. He doesn't know that I'm doing my videos late because I'm not hanging out with his daughter in the morning this week while they're gone, so I've gotten to sleep in a little bit more this week. And I realize that there's a lot more people awake and in the world at 6:30 in the morning than there are at 5 o'clock in the morning or 4:30 in the morning. So that's a lesson learned, but that is an example of we do what we got to do to get what we want to get done with what we've got. We do what we can with what we've got. My resource, my time is my most important resource, and the time that I have that I can create content and make videos is from like 4 to 6 in the morning or 4 to 6:30 in the morning before my granddaughter comes. Could I do it later? Could I do it while she was at school? Yes, but that time is devoted to me working with my coaching clients and creating and doing live calls, live challenges and things. So that's my window. That's the window I've allotted, and that's what we do. We, based on our life circumstances and what's going on around us, we find the pieces of time when we can make things possible, not when we can make excuses that that piece of time isn't big enough. Because there have been times when I have created in my offline world as well as my online world, I had to do the same thing. Offline, in the real world, in corporate America, I would have to build in little pieces of time to get things that were important to me done. And if it was important to me, it got done. It got a place in the priority list. If it wasn't super important to me, it went to the bottom of the 400 item to-do list, right? Now, I have to admit, one of the best things I've learned about being online, and it took me a couple of years, not even gonna lie, was that the 400 item to-do list, the belief that I have to do all these things, and I have to thank one of my coaching students for this. Adi Cashin is his name, and he taught me about the one thing. He is a one thing certified trainer, and as I was coaching him, he was teaching me about the one thing. And I have to admit, focusing in on the one thing has taken my stress level to like a 10, from a 60 or 70 down to a 10. And I just don't freak out about stuff as much anymore. I set my one thing, my one priority every single day, and I work on that. I work on that first. I get that done. When that thing is done, anything else I do in the day feels like an extra win, right? Once I get that one thing accomplished, I've already had my first success, my first win of the day. And after that, everything else that I can get done and can get accomplished just feels better. Now, is it any different than the way I used to be? Not really very much. But the way I look at it, the way I feel about it, the way I feel about the things that I do every day, it's totally different. And that really matters. That really does matter. How we see things and how we look at it and how we feel about it actually matters, right? So, challenge. One Funnel Away challenge, week 3, day 2 today. Haven't done that yet. I will probably just pop in and take a look at that. Maybe just watch maybe Russell's video to remind me where we're at. Not going full force in that. Another lady that I know, I noticed just started day 1 of a challenge today about your movement. And so I'll probably pop in and watch little bits and pieces of what she's doing with that. Of course, there are always, I would be willing to bet there are hundreds, if not thousands of challenges always going on at any one time. Just like opportunities, right? Challenges are opportunities, aren't they? There's always opportunities around us swimming around, and we only notice them, we only allow ourselves to see them when it's something that's on our radar, when it's something that we're curious about or interested in. I have been doing challenges for decades, and to be honest, until I came online, I never even knew that people did them or used them to help build and grow their business. And here it turns out they are like the best, number one, easiest secret tool that any business owner in any industry can use to attract their ideal people to them. And isn't that something that all business owners want? Every business owner I've ever talked to over time, at some point in our conversation, mentions wanting more sales, more customers, more repeat sales, more money coming in, right? Every single business I've ever worked with, every single business owner or entrepreneur I've ever worked with, one of the biggest things we always want is more customers. And actually, it's not just more customers, right? We always say, and people always say, I want to sell my products to everybody. I want more customers. I want 1 million customers. Well, no, you don't. Could you today, right now, with the way your business is set up and structured, if you had 1 million customers, even if you had 1,000 customer influx, could you handle that? Could you really handle that? And if not, guess what? That would cripple your business. So one of the things that I make sure I teach people as soon as I teach them how to get all the customers that they want coming to them is, all right, you better make sure that you've got your systems in place so that you can turn this on and keep it flowing so that you always have a steady stream of people coming into your life and into your world and into your business. This is one of my biggest frustrations with the online world is everything is focused, all the training, all the information, all the launching, all the gurus is focused on the front end, how to get people coming to you. And guess what? That's awesome, but you got to have something to deliver to them, right? You have to have a system and processes and procedures to deliver to people. And that's where my world comes in. That's where my corporate experience was all in manufacturing, delivery, systems, processes, procedures. And I'm just adding the online component. My whole life in the offline world has always been about delivery and like this much marketing and sales. And in the online world, it's gurus believe, and I'm going to say falsely, that 99% of success online is marketing and sales. And I get that. You got to get your message out. You have to have people coming to you. But if you can't deliver, if you can't perform and over deliver and under promise and do what you say you're going to do, that will be a very short-lived online life and existence. And if that's what you want to create, if you just want to make a fast buck, I'm not your gal. Don't come to me for that. But there's plenty of people out there that will sell you that and teach you that, how to make a quick buck. But if you're wanting to create something bigger than yourself, something to support your family and your life in the way that you feel good about it, and you want to create that then I'm the person to talk to. I'm the person that will help you with that. I'm not going to ever help you with just a fly-by-night, seat-of-the-pants thing. I can teach you those strategies and those tricks and those hacks. I hate the word hack. It's interesting. I don't know whoever thought that the word hack was a good thing. It's like saying thief or stealing is a good thing. Hack, to me, is in that same category, and we get to define things any way we want, but I don't think you will ever see me create any kind of a hack product, because that tells me I'm cutting corners and angles, and some of those corners and some of those foundations and some of those frameworks are really, really important to understand. So if you're all thumbs, embrace it and just do it anyway. If you feel like you're out of your comfort zone, ask for help. If you feel like you have to fix something or repair or change something about yourself, stop in your tracks and remind yourself that you are an awesome human being and there's nothing wrong with you. Focus on the things that you're great at, that are your genius zone, that you love to do, that you're passionate about, and then outsource or hire for, or just don't do or don't build that into what it is that you do as you're building your business and building your life. Set yourself up for success, not for challenges and failure. There's enough people in the world that will be telling us we can't do something. There's enough organizations and things set up to keep us in a box where we feel like we only have one or two options. So don't fall into those traps. Don't be that person. That's pretty much all I've got for today. I've got a ton of work to do on the challenge that's coming up. Not a ton of work. They're not a ton of work. The gurus will tell you, oh, challenges are so hard. You have to pay me $1,000 or $997 to teach you how to do challenges. And here I'm showing you exactly how to do it for free on March 23rd. If you are interested in that, hop into the Thrive Challenge group. It's a Facebook group, private Facebook group called Thrive Challenge. It's Facebook/groups/Thrive Challenge. You got to answer the questions. I don't know why people get so bent out of shape answering 3 questions and sharing their email, but that's how we filter out the people that are not serious, the people that are full of it, the people that are just trying to get information and not going to probably do anything with it. Or the haters. Guess what? If you're around long enough, you're going to get haters. It's okay. Everybody isn't going to love us, right? I'm cool with that. I didn't used to be cool with that, but I am so cool with that now. Bring it on. Bring it on. Please tell me I'm stupid and in my pajamas, because I love that. I absolutely love my pajamas, and I know that I am setting up my life to work for me, not to anybody who wants to criticize that. But if you want to send me cute pajamas and ropes, I'm all in for that too. Anyway, I'm off topic. I don't know why. Go out, make it, because I got to make another video, right, for the Thrive Challenge. Or it's not the Thrive Challenge. It's for the Challenge Workshop. But it's on my Thrive Challenge page. Because I already have the page and group set up. I've had it for, gosh, years. I don't even know how many years I've had that set up, but it's been years, probably a handful. So we want to, if you want to participate, if you need help with anything about processes, systems, procedures, offline, online world, guys, I've been around 47 years doing this stuff. And in 27 different industries. I figured that out the other day, and I'm like, that is kind of ridiculously mind-blowing, but pretty cool. So I actually know some of the inside secrets, the tricks, the hacks, how we do things in this industry, and how you can work with that, or guess what, get around it. Because just because that's how they do things in an industry, I'm going to say some of the smartest ways to be successful and create what you want is to go and do something exactly different than what everybody else is doing in your industry. We can chat about that too. Anyway, if I can help you in any way, ask in the questions below, and I will hook you up with who has the answer if I don't know it. I love helping people figure out what their next step is. What is the next thing that I need to do to really get me on the trajectory to achieving what I want faster, easier, more efficiently, and more effectively than I ever dreamt possible. That's one of my favorite things to do. And then to see that little light go off and they're like, oh my God, you mean it's really this simple? I can do this? That's one of my favorite moments. Anyway, have an absolutely amazing, terrific day, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye.